Hi everyone, it's Miranda. So this video is going to be me talking about panties. These aren't just the panties I have. I have nicer, colorful ones, lingerie, whatever, but these are pretty much my basic panties, the ones I wear most times throughout the week. And we are going to be going through the most common panty health questions and advice, and we are going to be going through Google together, and I will be showing you some answers that I get for the questions I am about to ask. So let's get started. As you all know, I have talked about vaginal health throughout quite a few of my videos so far. Vaginismus, reverse Kegels, how to take care of your region downstairs, and certain health problems people can get. So I always had in the back of my head that I want to do a panty video, why white cotton panties are one of the best kind of panties to wear more than your other ones. I was actually watching Dr. Mike, and I seen one of his videos. He was talking about panties, health, why we wear them, what the average woman wears on a regular basis. He did a street walk and interviewed people. So I thought, why not make this video and talk about what kind of panties I wear? The questions we're going to be going through on Google. The first one is, when were they invented? And they date back since 4,400 BC in Egypt, and they're also recorded in the Roman Empire, and they're made from linen. Apparently they're first worn during the Renaissance for function, and they were used as a chastity device. They helped women stay clean and protected them from the cold, and when they fell off a horse, it prevented their thighs from being seen. So here are just some photos of what I found from 1920 to 2000s. Here's the 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s. So the thongs were actually invented in 1974, designed by the fashion designer Rudi Gernreich. So honestly, the different styles of panties actually changed throughout the years, and they came out with different ones, and there's so many photos on the internet about how the amount of cloth and linen used actually shrunk since the 1800s, which is true, especially when the thong came out in the 70s. But even just looking through photos, you still see the bikini type of underwear throughout every decade. And especially on that video I was just talking about, Dr. Mike, it seems to be the average woman actually prefers the bikini style. Google even told me that as well, right here. And me too, personally, I prefer wearing bikini style on a regular basis. So underwear actually serves as a purpose to either keep things inside, for support, especially for men. It goes with a bra with women's breasts. They also help to prevent your jeans, pants from getting soiled from the natural discharges. It keeps your outer garments from being soiled or damaged by bodily excretions. It also prevents friction from happening when you're walking. I know if I don't wear underwear when I'm wearing jeans, it's just very uncomfortable, and there is a lot of unneeded friction, so I do prefer personally wearing underwear under my jeans. And long underwear is common throughout the colder winter months because they just keep you more warm. So bleach patches on your underwear for women are especially normal because of the vaginal discharge. It's a normal, healthy thing that happens daily. Discharge is naturally acidic, so it tends to bleach the fabric, and sometimes it can leave a white or yellow stain to the underwear. Underwear actually prevents you from possibly getting infections as well. They act as a barrier, and they prevent you from getting bacteria overgrowth. I don't really know how that works. With underwear, you change them every day. Some people, especially me, I don't wash my jeans every day. I'll wear the same pair of jeans for 4 days in a row, and it's fine, depending on what I'm doing. Having underwear there just kind of helps make sure the area stays clean. Although if you don't wear panties, it isn't actually proven that you will get infections. People mostly wear underwear just because it's comfortable, and it's actually best to not wear underwear while you're sleeping with your pajamas because it gives your vagina a chance to breathe. Your vagina is naturally moist, so you want that moisture to be able to release and get some airflow going down there, especially from all day wearing underwear. That goes into why the type of underwear that you should be wearing is actually very important. You want something that allows your downstairs region to breathe and gently absorb the moisture. Lace, polyester, and silk actually promote the possibility of you getting a yeast infection. It changes the balance of your vaginal pH. The balance of heat and moisture isn't ideal, and depending on the type of lace underwear, silk, type of lingerie that you're wearing, if you are wearing them on a regular basis, it can cause unwanted friction and irritation. They can actually harbor bacteria, so it's just not an ideal environment. Especially nylon and spandex, the type of fabric it is, they don't allow an area to breathe, so all the moisture is kind of in a sense being trapped, and depending on how long you are wearing your underwear, it's just staying down there in the region, and it just becomes this sweaty, moist environment, and that can actually cause bacterial infections as well. So that's where cotton comes into. Cotton is the most simple, gentle fabric. It's breathable, absorbent, and hypoallergenic, especially if you're very sensitive to smells, cleaners, dyes. Washing your underwear and your clothes with hypoallergenic detergent is best as well, because if you have fragrance in your detergent and you're using that on your underwear, and then you have very sensitive skin, and then you're putting that on your genital area, it's gonna make you itchy and uncomfortable and sometimes unbearable. So just keep that in mind. I'm not sure if this is a myth or not. My doctor actually told me this, especially when I was having vaginal issues in the past. Thongs, they are sexy, and you don't have panty lines, and it's nice with leggings, and they are comfortable. If you're wearing a thong, I would go towards cotton. A lot of people tend to say that thongs aren't really good, especially for UTIs and bacterial infections, because with the small string that's kind of in your butt crack, you can't really prevent it from not shifting, so you could be bringing bacteria from the back door into the front door, which you don't really want. You should know that kind of from sex too. If you go through the back door, you shouldn't go through the front. I would switch it up, do the back door last, so you're not bringing disgusting, unwanted bacteria into your very sensitive vaginal area, right? So yeah, thong is like the same thing. Even with wiping, you wipe front to back, you don't wipe back to front. Although this isn't totally proven, especially here with this Google image that I'm about to show you. Nancy Herda at Michigan State University, she actually recommends that you don't wear underwear when you're sleeping, especially if you're prone to vaginal issues. They can lead up to yeast infections. They aren't good if you have vaginismus, and they can actually promote bacterial vaginosis. So dyes are a little different. There isn't really anything proven that dyes in underwear or toilet paper can actually cause issues downstairs. So unnecessary artificial dyes actually do cause irritation in some people, and it is proven that it can actually disrupt the pH level of your genital area. Dyes can possibly cause rectal irritation. This got me thinking, when I was in Romania, there's green and pink toilet paper in the concert bathroom stalls, and apparently colored toilet paper was actually very popular. Started in the 50s, it worked up into the 80s, it started slowing down, and then it was finally discontinued in 2004. Apparently, from the research I did, it wasn't actually discontinued because the dyes actually caused irritation in your genital area. It was most likely just continued because in the 70s, especially 50s, that whole area, appliances in the kitchen, bathroom, everything was very colorful. Like, you'd have a kitchen with all green appliances, or everything in your bathroom, including your bathtub, would be blue. The top 3 toilet paper colors were blue, pink, and green. Pastel colors. Toilet paper was dyed with pastel dyes, artificial colors. Sometimes they would have fragrance. Some people already do have an allergic reaction to dyes and artificial colors, perfumes. That's why they need to use hypoallergenic laundry detergent, like I was just talking about. But the same goes with wearing underwear, like colored underwear. The fabric is dyed certain colors, and all throughout my teens, I would just wear colored panties. The crotch would be the same color. I didn't worry so much about whether I was wearing lace, silk. I feel like most of the underwear I did wear was cotton, but they were dyed. But just because I ended up being so sensitive down there, my doctor did recommend I just wear white cotton panties just to help with keeping it hypoallergenic, gentle, simple. It shouldn't cause me any irritation, and it can actually let my vagina breathe. But if you are worried about the dye, even if you're not, when you do buy underwear, you should wash them once you get home before you start wearing them, just to make sure all the dye is out. I know from experience, just like even some shirts you buy at the store, you wear them and then there's like marks on you. Or Max wears bandanas. Some bandanas, we just put them on them and then it dyes as fur pink. So just make sure you're washing your underwear if it's colored before you put it on. Even if it's just white panties, you should probably do the same. I mean, I don't, but I probably should. Looking this up, you should apparently change your underwear, like get rid of your stock, replenish it every 6 to 12 months. I personally don't do that. It does make sense, especially when I show you a clip coming up here. I personally don't do that. The underwear I buy, I actually started doing this too because it's just really cheap, and then when I'm going on vacation or I'm going away for a month or two, I could spend $5 to $10 on a pack of 5 cotton panties from Walmart, and they're white, and then I can just chuck them away if they get soiled or something. Like, it's not a lot of money, and they're not pretty anyways, so if anything did happen to them, it's not a problem to just chuck them. So that's pretty much why I started buying those, and then it was recommended to me that I do wear white and cotton panties, so I bought a huge stock. At first I didn't really know what size I got, so I have like really big granny panties, and then I have other really nice fitting bikini style panties, which I prefer. They don't last long because the fabric is so thin, especially if it's white. You can't hide stains, and after washing them and wearing them so often, the white actually turns to gray, or it can turn to a yellow color. Mine are just mostly gray. And because the fabric is so thin, they do get holes in them. So that's pretty much the only reason I will throw them away and buy new ones. It's not because I hit like the 6 to 12 month mark. It's just when I know they're getting pretty bad and in rough shape, then I'll just throw them out and replace them. According to the Good Housing Institute, your clean underwear that comes out of the wash can actually harbor up to 10,000 living bacteria. There is bacteria in a washing machine. About 1 million bacteria is found just in 2 tablespoons of the used water throughout the washing machine. 83% of clean washed underwear contain 10,000 living bacteria just on one pair that came out of the wash. Like, there's already bacteria harboring on it. I don't know what it's like for your clothes, but apparently there is 1/10 of a gram of poop particles in the average pair of underwear, clean underwear. So you take your panties out of the wash, and then there's 1/10 of a gram of poop still on it. So I feel like you're wearing underwear every day, you're washing them. I say I would want to clean my underwear every 6 to 12 months too. But that actually gets into the pad video I just had. I was talking about how a lot of those pads last up to 4 years, sometimes 6. They can even last up to 10 years. If you have to change your panties under or up to a year every year, is it really a good idea to keep your menstrual pads for 10 years or even 4 years? Like, once I found that out, I was just thinking, I don't know how long I should keep my pads for. Getting back into the thong part of this with bacteria moving from the back door to the front door, the pads that I have with the button snap, they shift from front to back sometimes, and then you have to replace them. Like, you'll reach your hand in your pants and you like kind of tug on them to like pull them forward more. So essentially that is bringing bacteria from the back to the front as well. So that kind of contradicts what I was saying in my previous videos, but it actually gets my brain running. The size of underwear you wear as well can actually cause a difference. something too loose. Like I do have loose underwear and they're nice on like my days off and stuff, or if I just want to be really comfy, but you want something that is going to hold your stuff in place, but you don't want it to be too small, because even if it's comfortable but it is tight fitting, it can actually cause irritation, symptoms of vulvodynia, and it just makes it very hard to breathe down there, and it causes more sweat and possibly bacteria buildup. So I don't wear these panties all the time. Like, they're not the only panties I have. I do have lingerie, I have silk ones, I have lace ones, I have thongs. I just don't wear them on a regular basis. It's kind of like you don't want to wear makeup every day, right? You don't want to wear your makeup 24/7. You wash it off at nighttime. Wearing it every day probably isn't a good idea. You probably want to have breaks on the weekend. So you wear makeup for 5 days, take a break for 2 days, kind of thing. Same with underwear. That's my personal opinion. I don't care about panty lines. If people see my panty line, it's fine. It's not that noticeable unless your panties are tight fitting, and then you can actually see like the bump of where your butt is and then the panties. You don't want that in the first place. When I go to the gym and I wear leggings, I don't worry about wearing a thong. I don't care about panty lines. People wear panties. So what? Usually if I am on my period, that is the day where I wear like prettier, lacier bikini style panties, and then I have a pad in there. I don't really use my cotton ones when I'm on my period because they're just going to stain with blood, and then I'm not going to be able to get the blood out, because white shows stains a lot more as well. That's just like an emergency precaution, I find. Throughout the normal day and I don't have my period, I wear white panties. So when I have my period, it kind of helps me feel sexy, and the type of fabric isn't actually touching my genitals. I do have my cotton pads actually touching my vagina. So the silk and the lace isn't actually on my skin, so it's not causing the problems I just talked about. That's one way I look at it. And then I do like to feel sexy, so if you're having a sexy night or something, right, wearing a thong isn't going to kill you. Wearing lacy, silky lingerie isn't going to kill you, okay? You're not wearing it for that long, and even if you wear it for like a day. I just find white cotton for me is the most gentle for my downstairs area, especially with the past problems I was going through, and I just want a happy vagina, like the one video I have. I don't really find it like a whole like granny panties thing. Like, to me, it's kind of like panty lines versus vaginal health, and I would take vaginal health over people seeing panty lines. And you can get nice fitting cotton panties. Like, you look up white panties on Google and there's a ton of hot models wearing small white panties, so I don't see the whole embarrassing thing about it. One thing I also want to mention too, like, you can get colorful panties and silk ones and lace, but a lot of the time you can find nice floral lace sexy panties, but when you look on the inside, the piece that will actually touch your vagina, the crotch on the panties, there'll just be a strip of white cotton there, and that is usually preferred over not having anything down there at all. Prevents friction, allows it to breathe, absorb the moisture, it's gentle, doesn't cause irritation, but you still get that sexy feel, and no one sees the crotch portion on the inside of your underwear. So that's another tip if you're looking into transitioning into cotton underwear around your area, but you still like the way your nice panties look, so you can still get away with that. You can also get white cotton thongs as well, and I actually enjoy those too. They're just kind of hard to find, and it's tough to get ones that actually fit pretty nice, but they are an option as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video about me talking about my panties. So subscribe to my channel, like this video, you can dislike it if you don't like the kind of panties I wear. At the bottom here I will have my happy vagina video, and then over here I will have the video talking about my menstrual pads and about me washing them. So we shall see you every Monday, and I hope you have a good week. Bye.